Now, here's the one thing with that last play that I'm speaking about. It seemed like they called it a loose ball foul at first, which would have been favorable for us because we have him in the bonus. Yeah, we were in the bonus with 5.5 minutes left to go. First time all season. I was shocked. We grabbed the rebound. Looked like they called it a loose ball foul. Yes, we could go to the free throw line. Oh, they changed it. Reset.
When the Indiana Fever faced the LA Sparks, millions tuned in for a basketball game. Instead, they witnessed something far uglier. Referees ignoring rough plays while punishing clean plays in broad daylight. This isn't just bad officiating. It's a systemic betrayal of players' safety and competitive fairness.
And we talk about this. We are circled on everybody's schedule. Everyone, no one likes us, right? So everyone in our locker room, that's the only type of people that we have that we can lean on. And we got to be better in that area. We have got to stay disciplined. We have to stay focused. We need to get consistent, and we got to lean on each other. And I think that we've kind of wavered a little bit on that. We have our own islands, but as one of the leaders on the team, I got to do a better job of grouping people, right? In the fourth.
And tonight, we're exposing every damning detail. Before we dive in, smash that subscribe button. What you're about to see will change how you watch sports forever. Everyone expected fireworks when the Fever hosted the Sparks. The Sparks, one of the WNBA's worst teams, limped in with a 6-13 record. Indiana, though missing superstar Caitlin Clark, had momentum after winning the Commissioner's Cup.
That go into that. At the end of the day, we got to be more disciplined. I didn't feel like we guarded our yard very well. I felt like we had times where we got them going the direction that we wanted to. And we bailed them out by fouling. But they did a good job of continuing to just put their head down and attack us and force us into those fouls.
But within minutes, the script flipped. Refs called a loose ball foul that would have sent the Fever to the line, only to reverse it moments later. Fever coach Christie Sides later revealed, "We were in the bonus with 5.5 minutes left. First time all season. I was shocked. That reversal was a mistake. It was the first domino in a night of orchestrated chaos."
What in the world did I just sit through? What did I just witness? I'm pretty sure I just had years shaved off the back end of my life. What a tough, ugly watch this game was. And on top of it, they lost. They lost.
Then came the incident that broke the internet. Fever enforcer Sophie Cunningham dove for a loose ball when Sparks guard Julie Van Loo tackled her to the floor. As Cunningham lay defenseless, Van Loo grabbed her face and neck. A move so blatant, broadcast cameras caught every angle. Referees stood feet away, whistle silent. No foul, no review. They ruled it a jump ball, as if mauling a player's face was normal basketball.
And the referees, let's just blame the referees and say, hey, but you called a loose ball foul. This was a game that we should have won. Again. And a game that we lost, unfortunately. 89-87, Los Angeles Sparks defeat the...
Cunningham, known for protecting teammates like Caitlin Clark from cheap shots, was now the target. And the refs? They turned their backs, signaling open season on player safety. Just minutes later, the same referees exposed their bias. Fever guard Sydney Carlson executed a textbook block on Sparks star Ricuna Williams. Hands cleanly on the ball, zero body contact. The whistle blew instantly. Foul.
A disaster. This was a disaster. The Indiana Fever cannot keep losing to teams like the LA Sparks if they're supposed to be a good team. And Rickea Jackson, she just flat abused the Fever in the last 3 minutes of the game. Seriously, what?
Indiana burned a challenge to reverse the call, but the damage was done. For 5 agonizing minutes, refs debated footage of flawless defensive play while ignoring Cunningham's assault. Carlson's teammate Lexi Hull summed it up. The contradiction was mind-blowing. They punished perfection and rewarded unfair play. This wasn't incompetence. It was a pattern.
The LA Sparks just got the spark versus the Fever for some reason, man. But the Sparks always have matched up well with the Fever since last season, man. Tough ending for the Fever girls. Just some missed free throws, some questionable shots. Could have got it, man. Close game. I ain't even mad. The intensity is there, man. This team, if they can keep up this intensity, it's going to be real nice when Caitlin Clark gets...
Fever players held to impossible standards. Opponents handed free passes to injure. This game was no anomaly. All season, the Fever faced lopsided officiating. Coach Christie's sides have been fined repeatedly for calling out ref bias, including after this game where she warned, "We're circled on everybody's schedule. No one likes us." Even Caitlin Clark's historic rookie year was marred by uncalled fouls. Insiders whisper the league sees Indiana as too controversial due to Clark's polarizing stardom. Proof? Fever games have the WNBA's highest foul discrepancy, minus 4.2 per game.
Here, let's point out the obvious. A lot of people said it. We can officially rest in peace. R.I.P. Undertaker, Tombstone Piledriver. The theory that this team is better without Caitlin Clark. ESPN, you got your ears on? We can officially Tombstone Piledrive that BS. If you can't see how incredibly limited the Indiana Fever are on offense without CC, you're either not watching or you don't know what you're watching.
And when Cunningham, a vocal critic, became a victim, the ref's silence screamed volumes. Let's talk about the worst team that somehow won. The Sparks entered with the league's second worst record, yet they shot 18 free throws to Indiana's 9, all while committing uncounted grabs, holds, and flops. Rikuna Williams, who shot just 38% this season, scored 10 points in the final 3 minutes. How? Refs ignored her shoves and travels. Even Fever players admitted she abused us and the whistles vanished. Coincidence? Or proof that underdogs get help to keep games close?
They went with Lexi Hall in the starting lineup, and she was just trying to get charge calls all night, trying to get the charge calls because she was lacking with the size with Rakia Jackson. So I understood why she was doing it and trying to get Rakia in foul trouble. It was smart. But at the end of the day, that last play, you never flop and give the ref the game to call. You never flop in the clutch moment, man. I'm sorry. I did not.
After the loss, a toxic narrative imploded. ESPN analysts had claimed Indiana was better without Caitlin Clark. The truth? Without Clark's gravity, the Fever's offense collapsed. They missed their final 5 shots, including 4 in the last minute. As one fan viral tweet put it, RIP the Fever better without Clark theory. Tombstone Piledriver. Her absence exposed the team's fragility, and the league's refusal to protect her teammates in her stead. Clark isn't just a player. She's a shield against the WNBA's bias.
Colson, 5 assists, no turnover. Colson, she played herself a good game. Michaela Timpson, 5 points, 1 block, really 2 blocks. I'm not sure why it's only talked about as 1. 6 rebounds. Michaela Timpson looked great today. Michaela Timpson looked pretty good today. I gotta be honest. 3 fouls in 12 minutes, not what you would like to see. 1 foul was definitely...
Amid the orchestrated chaos and suspicious whistles, something extraordinary happened that night in Gainbridge Fieldhouse. While referees turned blind eyes to violent grabs and phantom fouls, a rebellion ignited on that hardwood floor, not with angry words or fists, but with a kind of gutsy, relentless basketball that exposed the corruption louder than any protest sign ever could. These athletes transformed from pawns in a broken system to warriors writing their own rules.
Somebody was saying earlier, and I took note of it, that when the Fever called a timeout at the very end of the game, did anybody know Stephanie White didn't draw up any plays? What are you doing exactly? What would you say it is that you do here? Question mark. The office, your office space. What would you say it is that you do here exactly?
And leading this quiet revolution were 3 women who refused to let injustice steal their love for the game. First, there was Sydney Carlson, the 5 feet 9 inches guard who became Indiana's unlikely symbol of resistance. All night, she'd battle phantom calls like a boxer dodging invisible punches. When referees slapped her with that outrageous foul after a textbook block on Rikuna Jackson, something snapped. Instead of collapsing in frustration, Carlson did the unthinkable. She flashed a smirk. Not of arrogance, but of cold defiance. As officials wasted 5 precious minutes reviewing her obviously clean play, Carlson paced like a caged tiger, stealing glances at her teammates with a look that screamed, "Watch this." The moment the challenge overturned the call, she didn't celebrate, just nodded slowly, locked eyes with Jackson, and got back in stance. That calculated calm was more terrifying than any trash talk. For the rest of the quarter, Carlson became a defensive poltergeist, stripping balls, intercepting passes, and holding Jackson to one of 7 shooting down the stretch. Every time the Sparks tried to isolate her, she'd whisper something that made them hesitate just half a second. Teammates later revealed her mantra: "They can steal calls, but they can't steal my hands." This wasn't just athleticism. It was psychological warfare waged with a basketball. Then came Natasha Howard, the veteran forward playing with broken-hearted fury. Just 48 hours before tip-off, she'd learned her childhood coach, the man who taught her to rebound like your life depends on it, had passed unexpectedly. While the league's PR team urged her to sit out, Howard insisted on playing through grief no athlete should bear. What unfolded was a masterclass in controlled rage. Every time a questionable call went against Indiana, Howard would jog silently to the bench, dip her hands in ice water, then return with terrifying focus. Her 21-point explosion wasn't pretty finesse. It was elbows out, back to the basket brutality. When Sparks rookie Cameron Brink tried to intimidate her with a hard foul, Howard didn't flinch. Just patted the rookie's cheek, sank both free throws, then on the next possession posterized her so viciously the arena gasped. In the post-game locker room, surrounded by weeping teammates, Howard's voice cut through the pain. "We grabbed the rebound. They changed the call. We're tired of it." But tired don't mean quit. It means work harder in the dark, so they can't steal your light. This was more than sport. It was a woman honoring her mentor's legacy by refusing to let corruption dim her fire. And of course, Sophie Cunningham, the walking personification of mess around and find out. When Julie Van Loo's fingers dug into her neck during that infamous loose ball scrum, the cameras caught something fascinating. Cunningham's eyes didn't widen in panic. They narrowed into slits of icy calculation. As referees pretended not to see the assault, Cunningham did the last thing anyone expected. She laughed. Not a nervous giggle, but a full-throated, "Are you kidding me?" chuckle that echoed to the stunned arena. In that moment, she weaponized humiliation. Instead of retaliating, Cunningham spent the next 4 possessions haunting Van Loo like a basketball banshee. She fronted her in the post, tipped entry passes, and when Van Loo finally caught the ball, Cunningham's foot accidentally found hers on a spin move. No call, just a turnover and Cunningham offering a hand up with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. This was the unwritten code of player justice. You want to play dirty? Fine, but I'll beat you at your own game with a smile. Later, when asked about the neck grab, Cunningham shrugged. "We lean on each other because no one else will. But sometimes, leaning means knowing when to be the brick wall." But the rebellion wasn't just about the stars. It pulsed through the entire roster like underground wiring. Aaliyah Boston, the usually stoic center, transformed into a vocal court general. After a particularly egregious no call, cameras caught her marching to the scorer's table, pointing at the officials while calmly stating, "Number 23 just tackled my point guard. I know you saw it. The whole building saw it. Do your jobs." No technical, just cold, factual pressure that made referees actually confer nervously. Kelsey Mitchell turned frustration into art. Every time a bad whistle killed Indiana's momentum, she'd respond with a heat-check 3 from the parking lot. Her fourth quarter explosion, 10 points in 90 seconds, wasn't celebration basketball. It was calculated vengeance. Each swish a middle finger to the narrative that Indiana couldn't win without Clark. Even reserve Christy Wallace joined the resistance. When a ref ignored her being shoved into the stanchion, she didn't complain. Just sprinted back on defense and took a charge so textbook it left Jackson sprawled on the floor. The arena roared as Wallace calmly helped her opponent up. A subtle reminder, we don't need your whistles to play the right way. This collective defiance created basketball's version of a distributed network. No single leader, but an interconnected web of resistance. When Carlson got trapped in a corner, 3 Fever players instantly shifted into rescue formation without a word. When Howard battled double teams, cutters materialized like ghosts. They developed hand signals for when refs were sleeping, tapping wrists, or dreaming temple circles. This wasn't just teamwork. It was a full-blown underground communication network operating beneath the league's nose. The most fascinating development? How they weaponized officials' bias against them. Notice referees were quick to call touch fouls away from a ball. Indiana started running sacrificial lamb plays, sending Louis reserves like Erica Wheeler on kamikaze cuts through traffic. The resulting fouls, often late whistles after seeing the collision, exposed the ref's reactive rather than proactive officiating. It was like watching chess players sacrifice pawns to reveal the opponent's strategy. Off the court, the resistance took subtler forms. Players started wearing custom shirts during warm-ups with ambiguous slogans like, "See everything and ball don't lie." Phrases that could be interpreted as positive affirmations, but carried layered meaning for those in the know. Cunningham took it further, showing up to post-game interviews with a necklace featuring a silver whistle. Just a fashion statement, folks. This quiet uprising reveals a seismic shift in athlete empowerment. These women aren't just playing basketball, they're conducting a masterclass in systemic resistance. The calm fury principle, never let opponents see your rage, makes you predictable. Accountability jiu-jitsu, use bad calls as fuel rather than excuses. Collective intelligence, develops silent communication that bypasses supervisors. Strategic exposure, force corrupt systems to reveal themselves through overreach. The night's defining moment came with 8.4 seconds left. Down 2 with no timeouts, Mitchell inbound to Carlson, who immediately faced a double team. Instead of panicking, she did something brilliant, dribbled directly at referee Tiara Cruz, forcing her to scramble backward. That half-second of distraction created just enough space for Howard to set a screen that leveled 2 defenders. Carlson's shot rimmed out, but the message was sent, "We see you, and we'll make you part of the game you're trying to manipulate." In the locker room afterward, the mood wasn't despair. Players huddled not around the whiteboard, but around Howard's phone, watching replays. "See here?" Boston pointed. "When Carlson drives at the ref, that's when Brink lets go of my jersey." Nods all around. They weren't mourning a loss. They were studying the blueprint of their own revolution. What makes this movement so powerful is its sustainability. Unlike angry outbursts that draw fines, this is disciplined, intelligent resistance built to last all season. As Cunningham told a rookie post-game, they want us to explode, to give them reasons to paint us as emotional or out of control. But real power is making them watch you in any way. This isn't just basketball anymore. It's a live demonstration of how to fight systemic corruption with grace, intelligence, and unshakable belief in your own worth. And the scary part for the league? Indiana is just getting started. As Howard put it while leaving the arena, they think they buried us tonight. Funny thing is, rebels grow strongest in the dark. The cover-up and what comes next. The WNBA's response? Silence. No fines for Van Loo. No referee suspensions. Just an 89-87 final score they hope fans will forget. But the footage won't just disappear. Cunningham's neck grab joins a list of ignored incidents this season, including Aces star Aya Wilson's bloody nose from an uncalled elbow. Former refs privately admit the league pressures Cruz to manage games for ratings. With the Fever now 9-9 and 0-10 against refs, jokes fans, the playoffs hang in the balance. If officiating doesn't change, the WNBA risks more than games. It loses its soul. Let's be clear, what happened to Sophie Cunningham wasn't basketball. It was assault enabled by a league that values drama over dignity. The Fever's real record? 9 wins, 9 losses, and 1,000 battles against a system designed to break them. But here's what the powers that we forget. Indiana's resilience is a weapon. When Caitlin Clark returns, this team won't just make the playoffs. They'll expose the corruption the WNBA tries to hide. If you're as angry as I am, sound off below. Who protects the players when the refs won't? Like this video if you demand change. Subscribe and hit the bell, because next time they try this, we'll be watching.